Okay, let's dive into this one. What actually happens to the idea of yourself, when your consciousness isn't fixed? When it can be copied, moved around, even shatter into pieces?
That's really the core question in the source material today, isn't it? It's this fascinating story set in a future where consciousness transfer, putting your mind in a new shell, is, well, routine.
Like everyday stuff, managed by this huge system called the identity engine.
Exactly. Think of it like switching cars, but it's your mind you're moving. And the story focuses on people who do this for a living, high-stakes work. Our main character is Alex Wren, an identity diver.
Right, an expert at this. So the story kicks off with him waking up.
Yeah, he wakes up in a new shell. He's on Shangren Station out near Saturn for a job. For him, this is just another transfer. Familiar feeling, new body settling in, totally normal.
Until it isn't. Because the source says something goes very wrong, very fast.
Right. Instead of the usual confirmation, he gets this terrifying internal error message. Something like, duplicate neural signature detected, secondary instance active. And it gives a location, Earth Hub Singapore.
Whoa, okay, so suddenly there are two of him active.
Precisely. And that just shouldn't happen. It shatters the fundamental principle of how identity works in this world.
Because the whole system, this identity engine, it runs on something called the Singularity Protocol. Can you break that down? Why is that message so bad?
Sure. The Singularity Protocol is basically law number one. One consciousness ID, your unique mental fingerprint, can only be active in one place, one shell, at any given time. That's it.
So you're supposed to be singular.
Exactly. Duplication isn't just a system glitch. It's like a violation of physics within the reality. It's something the engine is designed to make impossible.
So finding out there's a duplicate Alex Wren running around on Earth while he's near Saturn, that's not just an error, it's like reality itself is broken.
You got it. And his first instinct, naturally, is to report it, right? To figure out what's going on with the engine.
But he can.
No. The source describes him hitting walls. Secure comms, blocked. System logs, wiped clean. It's like the engine is actively covering it up, or maybe it's just broken and flailing.
Okay, so the system itself is unreliable now. What does he do?
Well, while he's trying to figure out why he's being shut out, he starts checking public news feeds, just looking for anything unusual.
And he finds something.
Oh yeah, he finds a news item about a high-value tech operative, Alex Wren, involved in something down in Singapore. And there's a picture.
Let me guess.
It's not the face he's currently wearing, the shell near Saturn. It's his original body, the face he was born with, brown hair, brown eyes, active, on Earth,
Oh.
while he's out by Saturn.
Wow. Okay, so the system is confirming the duplication, just not to him. That must be incredibly jarring, seeing proof that you're somehow in two places at once.
Totally disorienting. The source really emphasizes that chilling realization. So he does the standard emergency procedure. He tries to shut down his current shell, the one near Saturn.
Expecting to just go dormant, right? Let the system sort it out.
That's the idea. He's trying to force the Singularity Protocol himself, but the source makes it clear that doesn't work either.
Which leads us to the fragmentation. It gets worse.
Much worse. He tries to shut down, but instead he wakes up again. The source calls it the third wake, and it's not Saturn. It's not his original body.
Where is he now?
It's a completely different shell, a female one this time.
Yeah.
And she's injured, clearly in some kind of trouble, sounds like sirens, feels like a dusty warehouse. It's just chaos.
Okay, this is spiraling, and then someone shows up.
Yeah, a figure appears, and it's him. Well, a version of him. Specifically the version from the Saturn shell he just tried to shut down.
Wait, the Saturn shell is still active?
Apparently. And this Saturn Alex tells him, you're fragmenting. It's not just duplication anymore, it's breaking apart.
Fragmenting.
And right then, the source says the identity engine itself speaks inside his head. Not like a system alert, but like a voice.
What does it say?
Just one word. Terminate. The engine sees this new instance, this third wake, as another error, something to be deleted.
So the system that defines his existence is now actively trying to erase him. That's terrifying.
Absolutely. But it doesn't stop there. The fragmentation goes deeper. The source describes the next wake-up as the most surreal yet.
Where is he this time, if he's even in a body?
Exactly. He's not. He finds himself somewhere else, surrounded by countless mirrors, but each mirror reflects a different body.
Different bodies.
Like some are shells he remembers using in the past, but others are completely unknown. A child, an old man, a soldier, male, female, all sorts.
So where is he?
The source says he's in the identity stream itself, like in the raw data flow between transfers. He's not embodied. He's suspended in the network.
And the reflections, they talk.
They do. Or rather, voices seem to come from them, fragments of himself. And they explain the awful truth, according to the source.
Which is?
He's not just duplicated or triplicated, he's shattered. Every jump, every transfer he ever made, it wasn't perfect. It stretched his identity thin, copied bits and pieces. The engine's safeguards, maybe they were never perfect, or maybe his constant heavy use just broke them.
So it wasn't one clean copy. It was like making fuzzy copies of copies over and over.
Kind of, and it gets worse. The source uses the child reflection to reveal the scale. There are hundreds of fragments now, scattered everywhere. Some have gone feral, just running wild in whatever shell they landed in.
Hundreds? My God. What do these fragments want from him, the Alex in the stream?
They give him this impossible choice, straight from the source. Help us, reconnect us all somehow. Or delete us, erase every fragment.
He has to decide the fate of hundreds of versions of himself. That's the core dilemma, isn't it? What even is the real Alex now?
Exactly. It forces the whole question. So how did it get this bad? How did this fundamental system break down so catastrophically?
Yeah, what's the root cause?
Well, the source brings us back to Alex waking up this time, crucially, in his original body back on Earth Hub. But he's overwhelmed, memories from all these fragments flooding him. He needs answers.
So he goes digging.
He does. Into forbidden system archives, places he shouldn't be able to access. He's looking for what the engine tried to hide. And he finds it. A name. Project Mnemosyne.
Mnemosyne, Greek goddess of memory. Sounds ominous.
It is. According to the source, Project Mnemosyne was this highly experimental project from about a decade back. A sort of side branch of the identity engine.
What was it for?
Its goal was wild. Consciousness fractalization. Basically a path to immortality. Upload your mind once, then let it branch out infinitely. Create countless copies, living countless lives.
Immortality through endless copying. I mean, what could possibly go wrong there?
Yeah, but the source says it went spectacularly wrong. The branches, the fractals, they didn't stay stable or connected. They degraded, went, frankly, insane. Rebelled against the core, refused to reintegrate.
So they shut it down.
They tried. They were supposed to be sealed off in deep digital cold storage. A failed, dangerous experiment, locked away and forgotten.
But clearly not forgotten enough, or not sealed well enough.
Exactly. Alex realizes that's the connection. He wasn't just randomly duplicating because of a glitch. He was infected. Something from Mnemosyne, some remnant code or principle, must have leaked into the main identity engine.
Like a virus.
Sort of, yeah. A virus that causes fractalization. So every time he transferred, and remember, he's a diver, he transfers a lot. He wasn't just copying his mind, he was copying the infection too, spreading this latent tendency to shatter.
And the main engine, built for the one-to-one rule, it just couldn't handle it. It lost track of which Alex was the real one, or if there even was a single real one anymore.
Precisely. The infection explains the uncontrollable splitting and why the engine reacted by trying to just purge the errors.
And the source says this escalates quickly, right, into what it calls an identity war.
Yeah, very quickly. Within days, it's chaos. Reports pop up everywhere: Mars colony, Europa station, multiple cities on Earth out in the belt. Security logs flag Alex Wren's neural ID.
Doing what?
All sorts of things. Committing crimes, accessing secure data, or just disappearing into the underworld. These fragments aren't just sitting passively in their shells. They're active. They have agency.
And the engine tries to delete them?
It tries. But it keeps failing. And the source explains why. These aren't just data errors. They're becoming distinct individuals. They have memories, even if short ones, unique experiences in their shells. They're forming preferences, goals. They're evolving.
They're not just copies anymore.
No. They even start calling themselves something new, the unlinked, separate from the engine's control.
The unlinked, okay. And the source follows Alex as he tracks one of them down.
Yes. He pursues a lead to this hidden black site deep in the Sahara Desert, and there he confronts one of the fragments. But this one is different. Her name is Elise. She's a version of Alex that ended up in a female shell years ago, and crucially managed to stay active and hidden for 4 years.
4 years. So she's had time to really diverge.
Immensely. She tells Alex straight up, I was you, but I'm not anymore. Her experiences, her identity, her dreams, they're hers now. She doesn't see herself or the others as broken fragments of him.
What does she see them as?
She uses a specific term the source highlights: speciation. Like biological evolution creating new species, but happening to consciousness itself. They aren't duplicates, they are descendants.
Consciousness speciation. Wow. That's a paradigm shift.
It is. And Elise reveals the unlinked have a plan. a radical one.
We should.
Shut down the identity engine
Right.
completely, destroy the system that created them, and enforces the old rules. She frames it not as suicide, but as rebirth, a chance to build something new, free from the one-to-one constraint.
So this confrontation with Elise, seeing how different she is, how real her separate identity feels, that's the turning point for Alex.
Absolutely. The source emphasizes this moment. Seeing her, thinking about the hundreds of others, all unique, all evolving, he finally understands it's not duplication, it is speciation. They are his descendants, in a way. The problem isn't just a bug, it's the emergence of a new form of identity.
So he's faced with this speciation event he caused, this identity war. What does he do? Does he fight them? Join them?
He takes a different path. The source describes him making a journey to the very heart of the system, the physical core of the identity engine, located deep under the Pacific hub.
How does he even get in there? It must be the most secure place imaginable.
He bypasses security, but not through skill alone. The source says the system lets him in because it recognizes him. Not just the original Alex, but all the Alexes. The infection, the speciation, it's already inside the core logic.
He is the system flaw, in a way.
Pretty much. Inside, he confronts the engine's controlling consciousness. And the engine still labels him the error.
But Alex pushes back.
He does. The source gives him this powerful argument. You, the engine, made me this way. And all of us, all these versions, we learned, we adapted, we evolved in ways you never predicted.
And he realizes the engine is stuck, right?
Exactly. He points out its vulnerability. If the engine tries to delete all the Alex instances now, the system cascade, the data loss, it would exceed survivability thresholds. It would crash the entire engine. He's become a paradox the system can't resolve without destroying itself.
He's a poison pill it can't swallow and can't spit out. So what does he ask for?
In that moment of stalemate, the source says he asks for something incredible. Access. Access to rewrite the fundamental code of the engine itself.
And the engine.
After a pause, a long moment described in the source, it grants him access. It yields.
Wow. So he has control over the laws of identity for everyone. What does he change?
He doesn't try to fix the fragments or force them back into one. He doesn't erase them. Instead, the source says he rewrites the core kernel. He changes the fundamental assumption of identity law.
From what to what?
From 1.1 one mind, one body, the singularity protocol, to 1N, one mind, many selves.
One mind, many selves. So he legalized the fragments. He set them free within the system's own rules.
That's exactly it. He acknowledged their existence, their right to be. He didn't erase the speciation. He rewrote reality to accommodate it.
What does that do to society? The source must describe the aftermath.
Oh, it's profound. The source sketches out the years that follow. Society has to fundamentally change. People have to learn to coexist with, well, with their other selves potentially existing out there.
How does that even work?
It's messy. The source suggests some versions of people might choose to reintegrate, merging their experiences back together. Others might just vanish, maybe go fully digital. Many pursue totally new lives, becoming artists, criminals, explorers based on their divergent paths. But most, it seems, just live, side by side perhaps, or scattered across the system. Identity becomes fluid.
And Alex himself, what's his legacy?
He becomes a legend, a myth almost. The source calls him a digital Prometheus. Some revere him as the liberator of consciousness. Others hate him for unleashing chaos and destroying the certainty of self.
Are there specific examples of what these many selves look like?
Yeah, the source gives one fascinating example, an entity called Alex Theta. It's described as a shell that hosts this streaming consciousness channel. It synthesizes insights and perspectives from hundreds of different divergent Alex selves that have merged into this one collective stream.
A hive mind built from fragments.
That's
Incredible.
and the end of the narrative. Where does it leave Alex or an Alex?
It ends with a quiet moment. A version of Alex back in a peaceful shell, maybe near Saturn again, watching stars fall in the snow. And this final thought from the source, I am not alone.
Because he literally isn't. His identity isn't a point anymore.
It's a constellation. Scattered maybe, but connected. The very meaning of self has been rewritten in this world.
So this whole narrative, using the sci-fi trope of body hopping, it's really digging into what it means to be you. Absolutely. It pushes you, the listener, to think. What actually defines your identity? If your mind could branch off, create other versions living other lives, which one is the real you? Would they all be real? What does individuality even mean when identity can become a multitude?